think the first time I learned that fishing was a thing that you could do was when my granddad gave us a poster. It was a free poster with loads of species of fish on it, and he just gave it to us as a random gift. And we looked at the perch and roach and went, they look nice, wouldn't mind catching one of them. You started fishing about a year before me. You went to a little pond near our house with a friend of ours, Dad's. Yeah, caught some roach that I thought were perch. I thought they were massive. they were about this big. And then I saw my older brother doing something and I was like, oh, he's so cool. And I just followed on from him. You probably did what you do in most cases, which is, oh, Carl's doing something. I'm gonna do it better. And yeah. And that was when I became a better fisherman than you. Not quite, but yeah.
Back in 2017, I received an email from a couple of young lads asking to fish the lake. And these two young people happened to be Carl and Alex. And little did I know that a few years later would they be a sensation on YouTube, and most probably the biggest sensation on fishing programs now in the world. A few years later, in November 2019, Carl came and joined me on a buying trip of ours in our company in Japan, on a trip asking if he could make a short film about the koi industry. He managed to persuade me to allow him and his brother to come up to the lake and make a film. And so it's been a great pleasure having them up here this May.
I'm trying to think now of the first time we found carp. There was the pond in the forest, the little, I don't know what you'd call it, a little shallow silted up estate lake. We wrote numerous letters to the person we thought owned the lake trying to find out, can we fish it, please, please, please. And eventually this old landowner returned our mail. That was up at Allen's Lake. Yeah. We caught carp from there. They weren't hard to catch. There was about 1 million of them and they were all about this big. But that was a carp, and that was considerably more exciting for us than the little roach that we caught. Yeah, because up until then we'd just fished for like small roach, rod and perch. So that was quite a big step up. Yeah, putting on a lump of bread and watching a big lips come up and take it. That was probably the point at which carp fishing became our thing. I don't know what it was about fishing, but it was a way you could just escape everything else. I don't know about you, but for me, school was horrendous. I hated it. The noise of 30 kids in a packed room was just carnage, and I didn't really get on very well with the other kids, the teachers. It was just overload, a bit stressful. So I found sitting next to a pond and just hours passing, that was nice. That was very, very pleasant for me. And I think, Alex, would you say you're more competitive than me? Yes. And that's probably where match fishing came in. Yeah. And we match fished for 5-6 years probably. Not hugely competitively, but with kids from the local area, and we started doing the adult matches. But then that's when the filming of our videos took over from the match fishing. We wanted to document our trips, and doing that in a match situation was quite difficult. We wanted to tell the stories of the fish that we caught and the places we went. So I must have been about 6 when I first started using our mum's little camera. It was like compact, really thin, small thing, terrible quality looking back at it now, but that was the first time we ever started filming. You were 3 years older, so you were I still am 3 years older actually, funnily enough. Good point. But the camera that Mum gave us, well, she didn't give it to us, we stole it. It might have had 10 megapixels, no, 10 pixels. Yeah, it was dreadful quality, but it had a video mode, and for us that was exciting because we could record ourselves riding our bikes or climbing up the neighbour's fence and stealing apples off of their tree or anything, and we could watch it back the next day, and that was exciting for us. And with the fishing, that meant that we could prolong the enjoyment of our sessions. We could go out and fish and catch some fish and discover some cool lake or something, and then come home and relive the whole thing. But we needed to store that somewhere. We needed to go back and watch that. We didn't want to lose those memories. And YouTube was probably 1 or 2 years old when we first uploaded video. Yeah, but we didn't think anyone would watch it, did we? No, and they didn't. Well, they didn't for about 2 years, and then the views started creeping up, and we were going, well, I've watched that video, you've watched the video, but who are the other 900 people? It wasn't Mum. And that's when we realised there's an audience for this. You know, on telly, yeah, there's the greats, there's your John Wilsons, your Bob Nudds, your whoever, your Matt Hayes and stuff. But here we were putting videos on YouTube and people were watching it, and some nice comments, a lot of negative comments. I think we really had to work on our quality of the filming, and we wanted to document it better so we could deliver something more entertaining to the viewers, and it kind of just grew from there.
For me, I didn't really consciously want to be better at filming or fishing or anything. It was just because I loved it so much. That was all I ever did.
You were literally obsessed.
I was so obsessed with fishing and the filming that we did with it. And so every weekend, every summer holiday, we were out doing it again and again and again. And I guess when you do things a lot, you get better at it.
Yeah, well, in your case, maybe. I didn't catch anything last night, but I'm going to catch a carp today. You just fished, and you just non-stop. I was a little bit more business-minded in a sense, and I started thinking, well, how can we make the quality of the videos better? How can we document these adventures we go on and tell a better story? That was the sort of side that I focused on whilst Alex was catching the big common in the Park Lake, But
if it wasn't for you, we probably wouldn't have filmed as much. Actually, I was so focused on the fishing. I didn't really.
Yeah, I think in all partnerships you need to be different. Two of me would have failed. Two of Alex would have. Well, no, two of Alex would have caught loads of fish, but wouldn't have
captured it all on film.
Yeah, and two of me would have just argued with each other because I'm like that. The lighter right on that.
I never thought our fishing videos on YouTube would ever become a job.
You were at college, weren't you?
I was at college
when I was working at Nash. I think it was our dad saying, guys, you have 100,000 people watching your videos. There's probably a career in that. And we just didn't really think about our YouTube videos being a job. It never felt like a job, so we never thought it should be a job. We were kind of just on our weekend, going fishing, telling our stories like we had done since we were kids. But our dad definitely put a bit of pressure on us when the work started getting stressful. We needed to pay the mortgage, we were growing up, we were becoming adults and all the responsibilities that came with that. Our dad was like, guys, really, you need to snap out of this work every day and then come home and work more on your YouTube channel. You need to realise that your YouTube channel could be your work. And he helped give us the confidence because we didn't really believe that was possible. So we quit our full-time jobs, which was a bit of a risk. It was kind of nerve-wracking few months. But yeah, it paid off, and our YouTube channel and people watching the films has grown since then, and we're still enjoying it, and I think that's the most important thing, doing what you love. And that's why we've kind of diversified a little bit of late. We've made fishing films since we started, but I mean, Alex has got a new hobby every week. Oh, you've got vegetable patches and all sorts going on now.
Yeah, we kind of end up filming everything these days.
Anything that we get up to in our lives, we'll document.
Filming all the koi stuff because Carl is obsessed with koi carp.
Yeah, well, I've been obsessed with koi carp pretty much around a similar time when we started fishing. Just fish in general, water. That's the thing that excites me the most, the relaxation properties of water, flowing water particularly. And actually that's how we've ended up here today, is because I decided to go all the way to Japan to film a video about koi carp. A little bit off-piste, that was something that we hadn't done before. We hadn't made videos outside of fishing prior to this. So I found myself in Japan, going around these mountains, looking into ponds full of thousands of beautiful koi. And that is where I met Martin, the owner of Homersfield Lake, which is where we're at today. And whilst I was there, we ended up having a number of drinks in a bar underground, singing karaoke, all sorts. It was a very interesting night.
I can't imagine you doing karaoke.
Yeah, I can't imagine me doing it. But yeah, in amongst all that, I somehow managed to get permission from Martin to come up to his lake and test out the fishing.
Obviously, as everyone knows, Homersfield is an exclusive membership. But when I met Carl, and I realised his passion for angling and watching their YouTube channel as well. I thought it would just be a really nice thing to have them both here to again show their passion for angling and to come see what they can catch at the lake, and I hope they come here and have a great time. So to make things a little bit more interesting for them, I arranged that we netted one of the stock ponds and let them have a look at the fish that we are growing on and breeding here, and I also allowed them to pick 2 of the larger fish to allow them to stock them back into the lake. Don't normally do that at this time of the year, and we don't need to do it because the lake is so well stocked, but I thought it'd just be a nice thing for them to do and put on film, to have a Carl fish and an Alex fish that will always be swimming around in the lake here.
Now, can you imagine if we fish this lake in 25 years and catch that fish? And it's like, that was awesome.
We arrived at Homersfield on Tuesday night. The lake was like almost flat calm. You know, occasionally the big fish would jump out, and yeah, it's pretty exciting. I love going to new places. Any new lake really excites me. So coming here was pretty cool.
Especially a lake that you know holds
has
such a wide range of
big
ridiculous fish. We started off on the roach, caught plenty. I had a couple of quite nice ones. You managed to stalk a carp out as well, which was pretty cool, watching them take the bait.
Yeah, I also had a
catfish,
a tench and a catfish. Yeah, catfish on my light feeder rod, which I was not expecting.
It's been a bit like being a kid in a sweet shop, really.
Yeah.
It's just a big playground for anglers.
Yeah.
When we arrived, we obviously spoke to Martin, the owner, and Phil, one of the local resident experts. Basically, he knows the lake very, very well, and that tends to be what we do. We try and get some information from some people who fish the place, some people who know the location. He showed us a few likely looking areas. We also just kept our eyes on the water and spotted carp cruising around. It was actually quite incredible. When the sun gets on the water at this lake, you can just see the shoals of carp like you see in your dreams. Hundreds of them. There's also like the roach and the bream rolling and stuff.
Well, currently we're in the middle of having a little competitive fishing challenge, aren't we?
Yes.
Cole versus Alex. We're brothers, so of course we're going to be competitive. Currently I think I'm in the lead, so Carl has got some catching up to do.
Well, yes, Alex's tench, catfish and carp are all, giving him points that I'm missing out on. So I need to catch a carp. I can't go home from Homersfield without catching a carp, and we've baited up a couple of other spots a bit further down the lake, so I'm going to be giving that a go in a bit. The future of our channel is the one thing that we can't really know,
because it's in the future.
But I just hope that us following our passions and documenting the things that we are truly enthusiastic about will help inspire, hopefully, the next generation of people like us. Because when we were young, we were kids, we wanted inspiration, we wanted role models, we wanted to learn and get into the hobby of fishing, and I hope that our films have helped do that for the next generation of anglers. That certainly encourages us to keep working on it. That, and of course the fact that we'd love to see our content help more people see what a brilliant hobby fishing can be, especially in times like these.